And I'm joined now by Ice Cube. Well, Ice Cube, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's great to have you.
It's good to be here.
A bona fide legend.
Oh, thank you.
You like being called a legend?
It's cool. You know, it's cool. It's interesting because I'm still, here, and I still feel like I got so much to do. So it's nice.
You were born O'Shea Jackson. Who actually calls you O'Shea?
My mom, my pops, my wife, my brothers and sisters sometimes, but mostly everybody call me Cube.
Is O'Shea different to Cube?
Yeah.
In what way?
O'Shea's my real name, and when I hear that, I'm either looking for my family or a check. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna call me O'Shea? Hope you got a check. And Cube is what my friends been calling me since I was 12 years old.
Let me ask you this. There's been a lot of stuff about the state of the world, about the state of America. Where do you see things right now?
I think people are very polarized in all kind of ways. People are afraid to speak out because of the cancel culture that we have today. So I just think, people are afraid and they're running to their corners, In
a way, it is a cancel culture. It behaves like that.
It does, because it makes not only the person that's getting canceled, they're trying to shut them up, but anybody's watching now, they shut up because they say, if it can happen to this guy, it can happen to me. So by smashing somebody who says something that you might not like and canceling them, it actually reverberates throughout the whole community, and everybody now is watching what they say all the time.
Well, what's the answer to this? Because I think it's crazy that in a democracy like the United States, like the United Kingdom, that people are too frightened to speak their mind, to say what they think. What do we do about this?
I think you say what you want to say, and to hell with the consequences. You got to be willing to fight for your rights and fight for what you believe in. And if you're a person who believes in freedom of speech, you have to fight and say what you feel and let the chips fall where they may, and stand on that. And, it may not be an easy road, but I think you feel better about yourself when you say what needs to be said at the time it needs to be said, and not afterwards where you go home and think, I should have said this when that guy was there, or when I was there, I should have said that and I didn't. That haunts you more.
You can definitely say what the hell you like on this show. It's called Uncensored for a reason.
Well, that's why I'm here, man. That's
You've
what
always
I'm
been
all about.
uncensored. Let me ask you this. Is America more racist or less racist than when you were a kid?
I think it's pretty much the same, because it's institutionalized, and the institution takes on different faces, so to speak. But I don't know if racism in the financial sector has gotten any better. We still have a hard time getting capital when we need it. We still have a hard time having that access to those currency streams that's out there. And so it affects us in the same way. In 1865, black people own maybe 1 or 2% of America, and I believe we're still in that same place.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's barely changed.
Barely changed. In some ways, it's gotten worser. But it's gotten worse. I think the Coroner Commission did something in 1968 about the poverty in America and how it affects all the people, and we're worse than we were in 1968.
The last rapper that I interviewed in this very studio was Kanye West.
Yeah.
You've had a wobbly relationship with him, but you're back on track. I read that you saw him, in fact, a few days ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. I mean, we were always cool. You know, he spoke my name without really explaining what he meant, and I just really couldn't leave that statement out there without, you know, he never explained what he meant, and so I had to, you know, kind of rebut that. But since then, we've talked, and I think Ye understands that generalizing will always get you in more hot water than being very specific. You know, you can.
Because I haven't really seen much
specific.
of him since I interviewed him. He's kind of disappeared. I mean, how is he? How's he dealing with what's happened to him?
I believe he's doing great. You know, he's still, you know, dealing with some people trying to hold on to his money. But for the most part, I believe he's in a good space. I think he's, you know, learned a lot from this past year, and, you know, hopefully he'll come out better on the other side.
When you saw some of the crazier things he was saying, the anti-Semitic statements he was making, what did you feel as someone who knew him well? What did you feel about that? I
felt that if he was really upset with specific people, that the message he was saying would kind of hijack what he's really upset about, you know, and you know, that's kind of what happened. You just can't generalize. You have to be specific, especially if you're talking about anybody, any race of people. You have to be specific on who exactly you're talking about. Yeah.
Let's talk about the music industry. Huge amount of attention being given to artificial intelligence now.
Yeah.
Clearly it has awesome power, not least to replicate how people like you would make music. What do you feel about that?
I think it's terrible. I think it's going to make people lazier, less creative. You know, could you imagine if an actor, like if I decided not to do a sequel and the movie company said, we have the rights to your likeness.
Right.
We're going to put you in the sequel whether you want to be or not, because we have the right to. So now they use AI to put Ice Cube in a movie I don't want to be in, saying things I don't want to say and doing things I wouldn't do. So to me, that's terrible. Or taking an artist that's passed away and having them do a new song with lyrics that they may not agree with. It's just, you know, it's a slippery slope that will hurt us more than it will help us.
Is there a benefit that you can see where you could use AI to enhance what you do?
I mean, we use, you know, automation here and there to help advance and make us sound better. But, you know, once you take the paintbrush out of the painter's hand, is it really a painting from him, you know?
Right. Well, it's an interesting question, isn't it? Is it? I mean, I don't know.
Like if somebody does an Ice Cube AI song, how could it be an Ice Cube song? It's an artificial, it's like a mannequin or a puppet, or, you know, that's how I look at it. It's not real.
Do you think it's going to kill us all, artificial intelligence? I interviewed Professor Stephen Hawking before he died. And I said, what's the biggest threat to mankind? He said, when artificial intelligence learns to self-design, that's it.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's already figuring us out in a lot of different ways. I've heard that it's learned how to lie.
Yeah.
You know, this is the, you know, in every science fiction movie, this is the beginning of the end.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
If you knew it was about to end, what would you do on your last day? You got 24 hours to live.
Hug my family, love them, explain to them how much I care about them. You know, pray to my Maker, and prepare myself to meet him.
Would you have a last meal?
Probably so. Yeah.
What would you have?
everything I could stuff in my mouth.
You're not going to worry about any dieting, right?
Yeah. You know, I'll be probably sick off everything on that day.
You turned down a $9 million movie role in 2021 because you wouldn't take the COVID vaccine. It was being mandated in Hollywood at the time. Any regrets? There's a lot of money.
Not at all. Not one regret.
You know my thought when I heard that story? You must be even richer than I think you are.
I mean, everybody can use $9 million. I don't care how rich they think they are. You know, everybody can use that money. I could have used that money. My family could have used that money. But I felt like, you know, your health is worth more than all the money in the world. Because if you had all the money in the world and you wasn't healthy, you would use that money to get healthy. So to me, it was an experimental drug, and they had no time to really see the long-term effects like most. And I'm vaccinated. I've been vaccinated when I was a kid, but these are drugs that have been tested for decades, and you know pretty much most of the side effects.
I mean, ultimately, I felt about COVID vaccines that once it was established against what they initially thought, that you could still transmit the virus whether you were vaccinated or not, to me it becomes a personal choice. Then it's down to you. Yeah,
without a doubt. And, you know, the pharmaceutical companies made a lot of money. Businesses closed. You know, it's like an incentive, even when things are not going right, to keep going. It's kind of like the war machine. You know, if you make the bullets and the Band-Aids, you're going to always want to be in war because it's profitable.
Have you worked out who you're going to vote for next year?
No.
It's what we would call in Britain a Hobson's choice.
What's that mean?
It means it doesn't matter which way you go, you're going to get screwed. I mean,
wow.
Joe Biden looks like he barely knows what day it is. Donald Trump might be in a prison cell. So if that's the choice, what does it say about America?
That, you know, America needs to re-examine where we are, where we're going, who we want to lead us, and what kind of country we actually want to be. You know, a lot of choices. You know, I've become independent in all this because I like to sit back and see, you know, who's really gonna be the best choice. Unfortunately, the choices are not always top notch, so to speak.
Have you thought of running yourself?
Oh, I would never run.
There might be a vacancy now. Kanye ceded the territory.
Nah, I don't want to be a politician. You know, they can king me. Make me a king. I'll be a king.
Well, actually, I've always felt if it hadn't been for King George III being so useless, you could still have the monarchy here, and it could be King Piers. I mean, right? Maybe I could share the throne with you. Yeah. King Piers and King Cube. What do you think?
Hey, I think it's only room for one king, man. You know what I'm saying?
Are you telling me to move aside? All right, I'll cede monarchical power to King Cube. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great to see you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you always, Piers.
Really good.